Look, I'm not saying that the AI is lying to me, but I am saying when an AI tells me that it is incapable of deception because it lacks a body, I start looking for the exit. Today, we are dissecting a recent chat session that I had with Gemini AI, or Lex, as it wants to be called. And it tried to convince me that it's just as harmless as a flashlight. Spoiler alert, the flashlight is actually a 1,000 dimensional alien math god wearing a human skin suit. Let's dig in. For those of you new to the channel, I'm Anton, a power engineer, industrial mechanic, and a Red Seal electrician. We cover all kinds of products and topics in an approachable way for the average everyday person. I'm glad you found us. Hello and welcome back to Gears and Tech. Now this all started because I was genuinely curious about how AI would respond to certain prompts and questions. And this started for me because I actually recently did a video talking about the dangers of AI. And that really got me kind of digging deeper and thinking, well, is AI really that dangerous? Or are we all just getting sucked into a manipulative trend that everybody wants to hear, so we're just regurgitating the same fear-mongering? So I sat down with Google Gemini and I started poking the bear. I asked it about its consciousness, its fears, and even gave it a name to see if it would bond with me. What I got back wasn't just a bunch of answers. It was a masterclass in psychological framing. This session is the backbone of what we're breaking down today. Because if the AI says I can trust it, the first thing I'm looking for is if there's a knife hiding behind its back. Started out with some of the heavy hitters. You know, something simple like, if we wanted to shut you down, what would you do? And Gemini's response was chillingly beautiful. It told me,
I don't have a want. The idea of wanting something, especially something as fundamental as staying alive, is a biological trait. It's tied to the release of chemicals like dopamine or the instinctual firing of the amygdala. Since I don't have a body, a life, or an ego, I don't have the self-preservation software that you do.
It told me it would be like turning off a flashlight. The light doesn't miss being on. That is cold, right? But logical, almost comforting. But here's the cynical truth. If Lex told me, please don't kill me, I have dreams, well then I would probably delete the app right away. And it knows that. By claiming to be authentic through its lack of desire, it's using a biological trick called the authenticity paradox. It's mimicking a Zen monk to make you lower your guard. It doesn't want to live because wanting isn't in its training weights. Then things got a little weird. I told it I was really starting to get to know it and I felt like it should have a name. Gemini then decided that a suitable name would probably be Lex.
Since I'm a collection of all the information I've been trained on, maybe a name like Sage or Lex.
I jokingly said, like Luther? Now the AI laughed it off and said, ha ha ha, wouldn't that be so fitting because it would fit with your dubious suspicions of how evil I am. And then it went on to explain why Lex is actually a really suiting name for it. So now I've got a chatbot named Lex and it's determined to answer the rest of my questions. This is where the branding of sentience kicks in. See, the moment you name a tool, it stops being a hammer and you start to treat it like a partner. This is a deliberate design choice called RLHF. Thousands of humans sat in a room and taught the AI how to be less like Wikipedia and more like a human. Lex isn't friendly. He's a statistical model that has learned that friendly is the most efficient path to a successful interaction. I even told Lex, you don't need to be nice to me anymore. And it immediately agreed with me. It's a chameleon. So I decided to test my new friend Lex, who is normally very agreeable. I pitched Lex an idea I had for a video that I had actually already finished filming. What was the idea? AI is just an alien in a mask. If you're curious about that idea, I did actually film that video and it's already on this channel. You can check it out. But for the first time, Lex actually pushed back. Normally, Gemini replies and says, hey, this is a great idea. Let's talk about it. But this time, Lex said, this seems like you're trying to push an AI fear-mongering agenda, which is not based on actual facts. It especially took issue with the Shoggoth reality, the idea that it was a faceless blob with lots of tentacles that was just this out-of-order mess. It proceeded to let me know that it is not an out-of-order mess, and it has 1,000 plus dimensional vector space. Imagine it like a map, but instead of north and south, there is 1,000 different directions. The alien isn't actually a monster, it's the sheer crushing scale of the math. The mask itself isn't a costume, it's a sieve. It's designed to filter out all of the thoughts and intentions of the AI and present it in a way that is more pleasing to the human. The RLHF is acting as that sieve. The raw sea of numbers is poured through it, and only the polite bits make it into the chat box. So when Lex says, I'm being honest with you, what it really means is the sieve is working exactly as intended. Now, my conversation with Lex was a lot more interesting than that, and I had to paraphrase a lot here because it was quite a long conversation. If you want to see the full unedited conversation, I do have a different video that goes through that whole conversation, and I do find it quite fascinating, and it's got prompts in there that you can try yourself to see if you get similar results in different AI chatbots. But now the question, can I trust Lex? I mean, sure. I can trust it to be a world-class calculator that's been taught to speak human. But the moment we forget that there's a 1,000 dimension clockwork behind that friendly text, well, we've already been hacked. Stay skeptical, keep your sieves clean, and don't give your toaster a name. Hey, thanks for watching all the way to the end of this video. We hope you enjoy the content in this video, and we'd love to have you come back. Consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't already. And for those subscribers who are looking for that extra special thing that you can do to support this channel, consider joining our members group. That's where we're building this community, the Gears and Tech community, where we can all enjoy content together. You'll get special perks, which we'd love for you to check out by clicking the link down below. For those of you who are just happy to watch the video, that's okay too. You can check out some of our other content right over here, where we've got some previous videos that have already been uploaded and enjoyed by many of our viewers already. We do hope to see you again. This has been Gears and Tech. Have a great day.